This is another episode of the Backstage Sports Podcast. I'm Joe Conor.
I'm JT Harker.
And today we have a very special guest. We got to give him a special kudos today because he came in super in the clutch, super last minute, phenomenal dude, hilarious, super talented. He had his own clothing line. Some people might know him as Darrell. Some people might know him as Jiggy. But Jiggy, Darrell Evans, welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. Glad to be on. Sure, for sure.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming
Jiggy,
on.
are you an LA dude?
I'm absolutely in LA right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but are you an LA guy?
No, I'm actually a New York guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So do your sports alliances fall in New York?
Hell no.
No.
So who is your so first tell us a little bit about I briefly covered it because we didn't I didn't have everything done because like I said everything we jumped in super last minute, but tell us a little bit about your squads, your sports teams, and a little bit about what you do because you currently live in New York but you're in LA now. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing here and a little bit about the clothing line and everything.
All right, so start off basketball wise. I'm a Laker guy. I've been a Laker guy even before Kobe. Even though Kobe's my guy, 1000%.
Yeah.
Not a LeBron guy, by the way, but we're gonna keep going.
Yeah. I forgave you for that though.
I still love him and I respect what he does on and off the court for sure. I'm a football guy. In general, my favorite team is the Baltimore Ravens. I'm a defense guy. Always admired Ray Lewis. But baseball, I am a Yankee guy. I lived walking distance to Yankee Stadium growing up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's killer.
Yeah, we will walk there, but it's really a train stop. But definitely, I can see Yankee Stadium from my crib, like currently in New York.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
About the clothing line, my name is Darrell Evans. But outside, you might hear people call me Jiggy. My brand is called the Jigg by Jiggy, like Mark by Mark Jacob. Mm-hmm. That's what inspired that name. Just the whole how it sounds. From there, the foundation of it was in Harlem. Branched off. I got connected with a couple of people from Brooklyn. I actually went to college with them up in Lincoln University. They seen the vision, and it's been blossoming for the past 7 years. I started in 2013, and now today it got me in LA. So I've been working different pieces, working with new people, and doing things different. And he's been showing me love. Joe is a good friend of the family. So like he's been showing me a lot of the ropes in LA. So quick synopsis. But,
And you've been doing these drops, right? You started doing like a couple drops every Friday or something like that. I saw you just put something out on Instagram about one the other day.
Yeah, so for the month of October, so it's like as soon as I got seasoned here, I've been working on some stuff for some time that I wanted to do for the fall. So what I like about LA, they love the graphic DTG look on t-shirts, that vintage t-shirt look.
Yeah.
So far I got about 25 t-shirts out, vintage t-shirts. I did that in the past 2 weeks, and then I just followed up this week with a sweatsuit drop. I actually got on a hoodie to the sweatsuit right now.
Dope.
And, this is actually one of my snapbacks too, and I dropped 2 other t-shirts. And then this week I got something real spicy. This is what I was just telling. Actually, when I first spoke to you, I just told you I was working on something.
Oh, that's fire.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. Jacket together, Sherpa joint, real fire.
Actually, is that a jean? Is that a jean? Is that is the fabric jean on it?
It is.
Oh, okay.
And then it has the Sherpa material on the inside. So
Oh, dope.
Yeah. That's fire.
It's like Sherpa varsity, like a varsity jacket, but Sherpa. That's sick.
Yeah, so I'm a super sports guy. That's what like super inspired that. I've been doing a lot of athletic looks just recent. But that's just one side of my brand. I also like doing formal clothes as well. But LA is just so relaxed, so calm, so chill. And I love it because that was my swag in New York. But I feel like just the vibe here has just been elevating just the level of my swag lately.
Yeah, for sure. So we towards the end, we're gonna shout people out with the info to check out the all of the stuff and where they can buy it and everything like that, because he got some dope stuff. I watched a little bit of a fashion show that he did a while ago, and that joint is fire. So we'll give y'all all the info so y'all can check that out. JT has a this day today.
I do. It's real simple. It's going to be real short. I didn't go through and get all the ones I normally get, but
Yeah.
So this is an interesting one. It started 1984, continued through the 80s, most of the 90s, and I guess it just came up as recent as yesterday that Michael Jordan is still the greatest basketball player who ever lived.
No,
it's crazy.
That's not a
It's crazy. It's crazy how it just holds up over time.
Okay,
it's crazy.
we need to move on. Let's just move on. That was a waste of a perfectly good space for this day in history. So Jiggy, just so you know, we normally do this day in history every now and then. Sometimes we miss it, sometimes we don't. But it's normally very, informative and cool facts about things that happened today in sports history. Except that was not only was it not cool, it wasn't a fact. It was definitely not a fact.
For the people that don't know, it was extremely informative.
Not at all.
Joe Conor included.
That was not informative to me. Okay, let's get into it. We had a dismantling of a team yesterday. Last night, the Cardinals destroyed the Dallas Cowboys, which further just solidified how bad the NFC East is, because they are still first in the NFC East, but they lost 38-10 to the Cards. At this point, it's just a race to the bottom as far as the NFC East goes. But I think people thought that Andy Dalton was going to be a lot better than he was. So there's a double thing of like Andy Dalton might have low-key just got Dak Prescott paid. But also, what do you guys think happens now with the NFC East?
That's a great question. I didn't expect. I knew we'd bring it up, but I didn't expect you to throw it out that way.
Yeah.
It's Andy Dalton. I expected him to be better, but he also hasn't started in a while. Well, I guess was he a starter last year?
Yeah, right. He was starting last year.
I mean, he's a professional quarterback, so with the weapons he's got, the defense is bad. That was expected, but it wasn't expected. What did they score? 3, 10?
10.
10. I mean, they barely got 10 too, because Zeke is on my fantasy team, and they were at 3.
Zeke didn't do anything.
Yeah, he didn't do anything, and he was supposed to, because now Dak's out. You're going to ride your star running back more, and you've got all the passing weapons. It wasn't there, and I didn't watch the game, so I don't know, but I know that Andy Dalton is not Dak Prescott.
No.
We both agreed that Dak Prescott was a fringe, maybe top 10 guy. But like I said, in the last couple of weeks, he actually moved up my board. I kind of have him like a top 6 quarterback. I really believe in him, not just as a player, but as a leader. And I think he's great for the Cowboys. Huge loss, man. Huge loss. And I think it does get him paid. I think it shows Jerry Jones, in case he was wondering, Andy Dalton is not the guy.
He's not it.
And that's rough. That's rough. And it sucks, because what you want to see is Andy Dalton come in and at least play well.
Yeah.
Not great, but just well, so that maybe he goes and gets a starting job next year, and then Dak comes back and all is well. But it's rough.
What'd you say, Jiggy?
I mean, for me, I agree. You want a guy that at least that's going to go out there and be competitive. It's like in the first and the third, they didn't even put up no points. Like, that's scary. Like, you haven't seen Dallas like that. Even when they were bad, just not putting up no points. Like, they only finished off with 10. So it's just
that's rough. And
you letting go 30.
Right. Yeah. And the Cardinals aren't seen. I guess they have a medium of the rung defense, but what's going to happen when they go up against?
Yeah, that's not even the Cardinals is not even a dangerous defense for real. No, they're not.
No.
I mean, and so Andy does 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He's sacked 3 times. And I think the other thing that this is also showing us is, you brought up Zeke. I think we overestimated Zeke, right? I think Ezekiel Elliott was running behind the best line in football the 1 year that we all thought he was the best back in football, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then ever since that line started to come down a bit, I mean, it happened gradually, and so did his numbers, right? His numbers just went down and down and down and down. And it seemed like every time, there was a guy leave or a guy get injured or something, Zeke just progressed, just kept getting worse, and he kept getting worse. And to me, that says, I think we overestimated Zeke, and he's not as good as a back as we thought he was.
I would say, and especially as a guy, this is now my second year, not in a row, but second year having him. I had his rookie year fantasy, and I got him this year. He's playing well, but I think I would agree he's overrated because he came out like putting up
gangbusters,
insane numbers. So if we were comparing it to that, then I would say he's overrated. I still think he's phenomenal, but I think he's the type of back that is like when I was growing up, Ricky Waters was the Niners running back. And then he went to the Seahawks, and he's like, man, I want to be more of like a between the tackles kind of back. At least that's what I think was going on. But he wasn't that. He was a guy that thrived in a passing game as equally as a receiver, as a running back. And when you just give him the ball and expect him to go, to just go run between the tackles all game long, he can do it with the right game script. But he's not that guy that's going to go get you 100. He's not Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's
kind of like a Christian McCaffrey.
Right. I mean, I'm an old school football guy, so when I think Zeke, I think like Marshall Faulk. Like he was like the first of his kind, like coming out the backfield, catching
good comparison.
The ball. And like you said, now today's game is that more downhill Derrick Henry that's just gonna get straight up the field. I'm listening in the interview the other day talking about, oh yeah, I was like 21 miles per hour on that 94-yard touchdown run. I need to be 22.
That's crazy.
Like most guys is like, oh, I want to get outside. I'm just worried about scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like it's just today's game is just different. And Zeke, he needs to really complement that old school, I think, Marshall Faulk game, but he doesn't have that Kurt Warner quarterback right now either. So
he doesn't. But I think we all thought like the Cowboys, are really gonna go as Zeke goes. Like for the longest time, I think I did for sure, and I saw it echoed in in the Twitter space and in the media. And I think that it really shows you, watching a back that doesn't have this star-studded O-line. It really shows you the talent of the back when you see them make, Christian McCaffrey was making something out of nothing when he was, when they were talking about him in the MVP race and stuff like that. He didn't have this all-star studded line, right? He was just like making stuff happen. When Ty Gurley was, had that like MVP type year that he had, he also didn't have the line that Zeke had, right? And so I think we all put Zeke in that realm of like, yo, he can just make something out of nothing. In reality, he just had like the best offensive line ever. You know what I mean? And I think now we're seeing him come back to earth, and it's really exposing a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? As far as the Cowboys gone, because it's also exposing coaches. We had a conversation earlier, and I don't know if it's JT or somebody else brought up, well, they have a new coach now, and so that might make a difference. And they blamed coaching. It was Jason Garrett. Everything was Jason Garrett's fault before, right? And it's just they getting exposed in a lot of ways at this now.
But I mean, obviously Dak's out now, and I think they'll get it together. I think and I didn't watch the game, so I don't know what they were doing early, what they're doing late. Obviously, when you're down by a lot, your running back's not going to typically get a lot of burn.
That's the issue too.
But he's had a nice year. I mean, it's not how he started out. It's not that. But I mean, he's had a good year. Like he's got Pro Bowl numbers overall. He's having a good fantasy season. But like to your point, Joe, like finally I had a guy score in the 30s for my fantasy team. I had one guy do it. I've got Zeke. I've got Travis Kelce. I've got now Justin Jefferson's turning into a star before our very eyes the Vikings. And I've got other playmakers and not one guy. And I would either bench the guy that had a big game I was making the wrong starts, but none of them. I had no guy go over 30. It's hard to win week to week if you don't have one or two of your stars
guys just
like
do something.
blowing
Yeah.
up. And finally, I did have Justin Jefferson went for like 40 the other
Yeah.
day, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
he did.
But, but top to bottom, it's like his bottom's been, I guess 14 is his bottom now. But his floor before that was 17. And it was before that it was 27. But he hasn't had even one game where he just exploded.
Yeah, and he's been good but not great. And I think he got paid to be great. And if you're talking fantasy, you drafted him to be a star on your fantasy team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The pay doesn't match the play right now.
No, not at all. So with that being said, who y'all think is going to win the NFC East? I mean, we could ask this might be a fluid situation, but
honestly, now I got to go with the Eagles because before all this with Dak there, the defense is awful. The Cowboys defense is so bad.
It's the worst. It's literally the worst it's the worst in the NFL, and they're saying that it has the potential to be the worst in league history. So I was just gonna say,
I've been watching football since I was a kid. It's the worst, and I've watched 4 or 5 of their games. It's the worst defense I've ever seen in my life.
It's terrible. It's so their last 5 games, this is their point totals given up. 38, 34, 49, 38, and 39.
Oh my God.
It sounds like a really good finals game.
I didn't even know that.
In basketball. Like, this is ridiculous. They're on average, they're giving up 36 points a game.
That's ridiculous. That is absolutely. You're not going to win football games like that.
No.
You're not going to win football games like that.
You're not going to win basketball games like that. If you're giving the best player 36 points a game, you're going to lose basketball games.
I'm pretty sure we lost one of my varsity games like 38-37.
Probably so. It's not okay. So
I scored like 22 of them though.
Okay. So their defense is not good, and so with Dak out and Andy not being is good as expected, as banged up as the Eagles are, I'm kind of like, we still got a chance to win. We still got a chance to go to the playoff. We just lost Zach Ertz, which is a huge loss, and we just lost Sanders.
And you just lost again to the Ravens. Good game though. Good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's got to be the worst division in football.
It is. By far.
Worst division in football.
Not everybody's record right now: 2-4, 1-4, 1-5, 1-5.
Yeah.
And it's like, the sad thing is the Cowboys is putting up the most points out of these guys, though.
Yeah, but they can't stop a nosebleed.
That's true too.
That's the problem.
Nobody is stopping anybody. Of course, Cowboys has put up is allowed 218. The Eagles is allowed 175.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the in Washington with 152 and 162. So it's like,
well, listen, none of them are good.
No, none of them are good. But some are worse than others. Because you know what I'm saying.
You know what's crazy though is, and I just remember, Joe, I sent you that thing for the what's it called, the survival league.
Oh yeah.
Thing that I did. So I actually just lost. I was in the final 7. I just lost because I picked the Patriots to beat the Broncos.
Yeah, which should have happened. That was weird.
Still very pissed about it.
I'm not sure what happened in that game.
They still almost came back to do it, which is crazy. Yeah. But my point is, what were we just talking
about? Your survival league.
Oh, so a lot of guys were picking whoever was playing the Giants, and they were kind of putting them in the same category as the Jets, which they are both winless.
Yeah.
But I've seen the Giants play almost every single game this year.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually tough, man.
They
and
are
Jason
tough.
Garrett's doing a great job.
They can just never get it done, and that's been the usual Giants.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're doing it right now where they're not expected really to be winning these games. Daniel Jones is still developing, but they're right there every game, and their defense is pretty nasty. So that kind of makes it a tougher division that you've got one strong defense, Philadelphia and the Cowboys. I don't know what the hell.
Well,
and Washington could end up winning it.
Not anybody can end up winning it. Look at the record. Like the thing is, anybody can. When I say the Eagles are still in it, it just means because where everybody else is shitting the bed. It's not because I have confidence in the Eagles. Like I don't. Like not only that, but in my team's defense, we are the most banged up team in the division. Like we're down all three of our starting wide receivers. We just lost another starting O-line. So that's another one that to add to like the three that were already out. I can't remember the exact number.
I feel your pain.
Our star running back is gone. Our star tight end is gone. Like, this is a joke for, you know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, we're bad, but we kind of have an excuse to be bad.
Right.
And everybody else is just bad. Like, you know what I mean?
My Niners are banged up, but they still pulled out a win, and Mostert is out again, who's also on my fantasy team.
Yeah,
I
have him in another league.
He was balling the first half, too. Oh, by the way, I didn't even address this.
What?
Good week, but I did come out with the W.
You know what?
Over who is this team?
The true goats. The true goats in honor of LeBron James. In honor of LeBron James, the real GOAT.
Oh, but who's the owner of that team?
I am.
Okay, you're the owner.
And firmly in second place in the league. I am. I'm
coming.
I'm at the top. And you know what? It was just one of those anomaly weeks. He had a guy go off for 40 points or something like that.
Finally,
that's not. If you got a guy go off for 40 points, you're gonna win. Yeah,
I deserve that.
Where you at in the rankings in your league?
Say it again.
Joe is second or third, and I'm
second.
I think I'm fifth or sixth now.
Okay.
But it's tight though. I mean,
I'm 4-2, and I'm right there. I had a rough week. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was.
Man, I was going back, and it's tight though because I'm tied with like two other guys. Then it's the points. You know what I mean? So I'm coming, but I love my team.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Our other Joe, we have our guitarist buddy Joe, and he was like, "Did you just muff your draft?" He's like, "Because I was drunk in a bar when I did my draft." And I was like, honestly, I did miss the first 3 rounds, but I can't say other than Kenyon Drake, which really didn't pan out for me. Which now he just
it didn't pan out for anybody.
No, but this week he just blew up.
Well, yeah, but if you were still starting Kenyon Drake in week 7, that means your team wasn't good because he wasn't doing a goddamn thing for 5 weeks.
He was awful. But yeah, he was like, "Did you just muff your draft?" I'm like, no, actually, I really like my team. I've made some wrong starts. There's 3 weeks. I'm 3-3. 2 weeks that if I would have just made one start different, I'd be, whatever.
Mike Evans was the story for me. He has 2 points, and obviously that's not okay.
While they routed the Packers, too.
It's weird. Mike Evans has 2 points.
He only had 2 points for you?
Yeah. So that's you're gonna lose if your best wide receiver is giving you 2 points. And then Kareem Hunt was the other one for me who was projected to have a pretty big game. He was projected to have 19 points. He had 7.
Yeah, so that's game script because they got routed.
Yeah, so that's they'll be fine. My squad is fine. I'm 4-2. Yeah. I'll be fine. Mike Evans is not going to score 2 points, and Kareem Hunt is in there. There's no Nick Chubb. He's going to be back on track. Yeah. So we'll be fine.
Speaking of Tom Brady and the Bucs, you are not a believer in Tom Brady this year.
I am not.
You thought the Gronk move was stupid. Have we changed our mind?
No, because Tom Brady still hasn't done much of anything. When you watch that game, they're not
winning games. Joseph Conor.
The Bucs are winning. The Bucs are winning games. The Bucs are winning games.
Tom Brady. They were not. The Bucs were not
there.
winning games with Jameis Winston.
When
Jameis Winston was just there, they were not winning football games.
Well, let's be clear.
The interception touchdown ratio is ridiculous with Jameis Winston, bro.
It is, and that's the thing. Like Jameis was throwing him out of games. But I expected Tom Brady to not do that. You know what I'm saying? Which that's typically not, that's not what he's been doing. So that he's not doing much more than I expected. Like he's not really, he's not, Russell Wilson or even Aaron Rodgers in the same sense. Like, he's been, he's been cool. He's been cool.
To do that.
But also their defense has been playing over their heads as well. You know what I mean? So I'm not and Gronk
their
really
defense is strong. Yeah.
What'd you say?
I was saying, that's why I kind of believed in them is because they do have a strong defense. So for him, that's, now he's got weapons, strong defense. So
I believe in their team. I don't believe in Brady. I believe in their team. I believe in Mike Evans. I got him on my fantasy team. I believed in their tight end core before OJ got hurt. They had before they even signed Gronk. They didn't need to sign Gronk. Gronk
apparently they did.
But the thing is, Gronk hasn't been doing anything until last week. Gronk didn't do anything. Ask his fantasy owners. He's literally been a waste
but,
of a space.
But fantasy numbers aren't winning football games. They didn't bring him there to boost fantasy.
No. But I'm saying statistic wise, fantasy numbers are just a result of what happens on the field. And I'm saying statistic wise, he hasn't done it. He hasn't done much of anything.
Right.
So if you drafted him in fantasy, you're paying attention to the numbers. Like why?
Yeah, you shouldn't have drafted him in fantasy. But I mean, fantasy isn't showing that he's the best blocking tight end they have in the team and stuff like that.
True, but in the grand scheme of things, it's he's gonna get time now because they're banged up. But even watching him during the game, he looks like he's running in quicksand. Like he doesn't look like the same. He doesn't look like the same grunt to me. So Grunt,
do you still have the Saints winning that division, or you think the Bucs could pull
I think
out?
the Saints are going to win that division still. I think they're going to get the issue with the Saints is Michael Thomas hasn't been there. You know what I'm saying? And he's arguably the best wide receiver in football. So if health is always the thing. If they're not going to be healthy, then it's going to be the Bucs. But I think when they get healthy, I think they should end up pulling it out.
Do you see more decline in Breeze or Brady? Or like equal.
I think I see more decline in Brady, but I think it's slight. I think what we're seeing right now in Drew Brees is the result of him not having his best weapon there, and I think that's it.
It's the decline in the team. Like for Drew, it's like he's never had a defense. Now he doesn't have one of his best weapons.
Right.
It's never been him that's declining for the team.
Right.
Now for Tom's situation, I feel like this is the best. Better than the last two Patriots teams because he has a running back, which Son never has.
Right.
So it like kind of explodes.
He kind of has everything that the Patriots never had, or at least for the last 4 or 5 years.
Right,
like,
for the past couple of years,
wow,
he does.
I have talent at every position. What's going on here?
Yes, he does.
Receivers. Yeah. Names that you actually know in the back of the jersey.
Right. Exactly. Right. But speaking of that of that game, what happened to the Packers?
I don't
10
know.
points?
I didn't watch that game, but that's sad.
I mean,
people talk about Tom so much, nobody talks about how Aaron Rodgers.
But he was doing good. Like they just hit a wall. They were undefeated. They were flying high. We were just talking about Aaron in the MVP race a week ago. It was all good.
But you know what though? The talk, now that I think about it, the talk was that they hadn't played anybody yet. True. And that this is their first real test, and I don't know what their schedule was. But now, and assuming they've played some mediocre to bad teams, now they're up against a good defense who can rush the passer, and Tom Brady knows how to run an offense at least, and he's got weapons. So they had a good game, and then the Packers couldn't move the ball.
You got to think 38-10 is an anomaly. I mean, as far as them playing, they played the Saints. They beat the Saints. They beat the Falcons, which the Falcons aren't as bad as advertised. They're another one like we were talking about with the Giants where they just don't finish. Like we were saying, the Giants are playing teams tough. You know what I'm saying? But they're not finishing. Like that's the Falcons. Like the Falcons are not as bad. But anyway, they beat the Falcons. They beat the Saints.
The Packers too. On the flip side, if you look at the games, their first game they played the Vikings 43-34. They're giving up 34.
Yeah.
Then when they played the Saints, they gave up 30 again.
Yeah.
Then you play the Buccaneers and you give up 38 again.
Yeah. Their defense is not.
But them scoring. But to your point. Look at the points they put up. 43, 42, 37, 30, and now 10. That's what I mean by this is them putting up 10 points. Like what's happening? You know what I'm saying?
But that's what the talk was at the beginning of the year was Russell Wilson's on fire, Aaron Rodgers is on fire.
Right.
And then one other guy they were saying was on fire. I can't remember who it is. But the whole story with Dak Prescott. So all three of them are playing out of their minds offensively, but all of them have shitty defenses.
Right.
Cowboys isn't getting any better. Packers need to get better. Seahawks are looking better defensively. So they're looking like a real contender right now.
Yeah, they are.
They're only undefeated.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. TK Metcalf is not a human being.
He's on his way to
he's not a human being.
So he's on his way to being if not arguably the best wide receiver in football.
Oh, dude, if he's got the perfect quarterback to help him get there, right?
And people don't talk about when they talk about Michael Thomas, they talked about Julio.
They're talking about him now.
They're talking about him now. That's what I'm saying. They're talking about him now, but he doesn't get the respect that he deserves for real.
But he is literally a tight end playing receiver and faster than everybody else.
Yeah, he is.
If he stays healthy, because if he can't jump up, well, he can jump over everybody. And if he's not able to do that, he'll get his body into you. He's too big for you, and he's fast. He's as fast as your cornerback, pretty much. You know what I mean? It's scary.
Yeah, he's gonna be a problem. The other Monday night game was the Bills and the Chiefs. Now, I mean, that game kind of went as it went. The Chiefs won. That's not the storyline. The storyline is the Chiefs adding Le'Veon Bell. Do you think that that's gonna fix their running issues? I mean, they had a good day, yesterday. But that hasn't been typical of them. I know personally, because back to fantasy, I had their running back, Edwards-Helaire, and other than week 1, he really wasn't doing anything. And that's the reason why they went out and they went to get Le'Veon Bell.
Well, I'll give you an easy answer. No, it's not going to fix it.
No.
I mean, he hasn't shown anything. He's been hurt. He's been banged up. He's been disgruntled. Maybe he'll be rejuvenated for a week or two.
I think because he's on a winning team is going to give him that energy that he's been really waiting to explode.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Jet situation was that's like you putting LeBron on the Knicks, honestly. Like, it would have brought his game down. It just was bringing his game down. Now
or Jordan on the Wizards.
That's true. Because Jordan was still scoring 40 on the Wizards.
He'll ball. Yeah, but they ain't winning a lot of games.
Not winning a lot of games. So I think, like, if they create some kind of a system for him, which I think would be going out their way this season, I think down the road, if he stays consistent, it'll become something. And like you said, at the end of the season, it may work out for them. Like, let's say they get that little ticky-tack injury again on the quarterback, and then they got
right.
They need to
if that pays off, and I don't know what it is, because now the talk has been, did the Steelers not pay him because they had a little notion that there was a little injury stuff going on? Did they run him so much that they didn't want to pay him because they think he's going to be on the decline, which is crazy because he was still very young, but that's the running back position, right?
Right.
So this could either pay off really big, because if you're getting a Le'Veon Bell of 2-3 years ago, you're getting a superstar.
Right.
In a system that's got so many weapons that now it's not all on him and he can just pick his points and just do his thing.
And the other thing is that, their real issue was, going back to fantasy, having their running back, they couldn't punch it in. Like Edwards-Helaire would do okay. He'd come out with, 10 points, somewhere 10 to 12 fantasy points. And it's because he was leaving touchdowns on the table because they couldn't punch the ball in short yardage situations, right? So now I think having Le'Veon, even though Le'Veon is not known as to be a brute, like he's by no means, Derrick Henry, but he's bigger, you know what I mean? And so now the thing is, like, does that help them in the red zone now that they have Le'Veon? Like, does he make up for that? Them not, I mean, because before last week, I think Edwards-Helaire had 5 tries at the end zone and didn't get any of them.
He's small. He's
tiny.
It's crazy too, because I've watched him a few games this year, and he's gonna be a problem though, because he literally gets out in the passing game and runs routes and catches the ball like a receiver. He looks like a slot receiver. He might be the best receiving running back in the game. Like, he's that skilled, but he's a rookie. So he's got to figure and he can run
and a
too.
small one.
And a small one, yeah. So he's kind of a specialty guy, and you're going to need someone else to punch it in. Which that one game, Mahomes flipped it to their crazy biker-looking white dude fullback.
Their fullback, yeah.
But I guess he's not punching in for him either. So I
mean,
it's that they had to take over his contract, though, right? They had to take over? I mean, he's got a big contract.
I think so.
So it's risky.
Yeah.
But it feels like they're going to try to fit him as where they thought LaShawn McCoy would be.
Yeah.
Would still be able to have some juice left, and it looks like he doesn't. Maybe Le'Veon Bell can fill that role.
Yeah, that could be. What'd you say, Jiggy?
Oh, no. I think everything he's saying is true. I was agreeing with all you guys. I think especially if they're like deep in the red zone, not even so far being close. I think that play action just opens up crazy because you don't really know what they're going to at that point. And like you said, Le'Veon, he's not like the big bruiser like a Derrick Henry, but he can be a downhill runner, and then that just opens opens that shotgun out with the direct snap to him and them just punching it in real fast. So
Yeah.
and like they got the little guy running by all crazy on the speed. It's like they got a high school offense. Like they're just going crazy right now.
What do you guys think has been the fall for him? Obviously, part of it was a little bit of injury stuff. Obviously, he took a year off with the contract stuff with the Steelers, but like he just seems to have pulled a Chris Johnson.
I mean, JT, you play football. I honestly feel like
sort of.
I feel like if you,
I was defensive player of the year on my flag football team.
Oh, stop it!
Sorry.
Like, I played football all the way up in college, and I feel like as soon as I started to put down or not really love the game as much, my game started to fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was on a bad team in college, so like that affected my mentee. My senior year, we were undefeated, great team. So then it's just like I get to college and we're losing all the games. So my freshman year was just like, all right. Then my sophomore year of college is just like, we're a little bit good, but okay. But I think he also took a lot of hits with the Jets.
Yeah.
There wasn't no blocking. So, yeah, he had that one good year being off. But I feel like he made up for that 1 year getting fucked up with the Jets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, excuse my language. But then I feel like going forward, like I said, as long as the energy is right, they keep winning, they mixing it up. And they keep that little college, high school vibe, and they use those young guys too, they're going to be scary.
So you think the change of scenery with that system could help him?
I do too, because I think you put him into a powerful offense, it's less pressure on him, and it's more they can share the wealth in Kansas City. I think his issue was he was on a trash team. I think he was on a trash team, especially as a running back where – they like, all right, we just gonna stop you from running. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you on the Jets, you know what I'm saying? It's nowhere anywhere else to really take the pressure off you. Like it's easy. It's like taking candy from a baby. They're so bad. So I think the change of scenery is definitely gonna help him. And I think that's what kind of attributed to his downward spiral as far as his numbers and everything like that.
Yeah.
Because I know that the running back is devalued and they don't have a super long shelf life, but he's not that old. And it wasn't that long ago that we were calling him the best running back in the league, right?
I know.
2 years ago, maybe.
Yep.
So I think that's what it was.
Let me ask you this, guys. I'm sorry, moving along, Joe, but this surprised me. And it pissed me off because it didn't allow me to make the move I wanted to make in fantasy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about it, but Ryan Fitzpatrick going to the bench for Tua. What do we think?
Oh, we said this would happen, and it needs to happen. Why not?
Yeah, but didn't we think it was going to happen because the Dolphins were going to be losing and
not
playing well?
Yes.
But they're winning. They're like winning games. And Fitzpatrick's playing well.
Yeah, but – I mean,
you get the young guy in there. It's a season that you can experiment. It's pandemic season, so it's like, yo, let's throw this guy in there, and he happened to be really freaking good. So it's like, why not? Something about the lefty, he gets me all the time. I love it.
Yeah. I'm a lefty too, so I love Tua. Tua. I'm pissed because I wanted to pick Tua up in the next couple weeks and anticipate them putting him in later in the season. I didn't think it'd be this soon.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to get him. I got him claimed right now. But anyway, yeah, he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Dolphins.
I think they feel like their ceiling is higher, and I think it's the flip side where they're like, we have a better chance to win because his ceiling is clearly higher than Ryan Fitzpatrick's, right?
Right.
And so I think that now it's the opposite where they're like, no, we're not going to tank. We look up, and in week 7, we're a game back from first place in this division, and the Bills aren't as good as everybody thought they were going to be. So let's go get the division. And I think that they're like, the kid is ready to, he's set for a while,
So you think they're thinking he can help us win the division this year?
Yeah, I think that's why they did it. Because they feel like he can put them over the top and get them from out of this 500 area that they're kind of hovering in.
In perspective, like what's for the future for them? Like Ryan,
right.
How many more years does Ryan Fitzpatrick really have?
Yeah.
So I guess I was kind of on the mindset like, well, if he's winning for us now and he can get us to the playoffs this year possibly, let's ride him out and I thought also they wanted to give Tua more time to just make sure that injury was legit and he's healed.
Yeah.
Which obviously they've given him some time. That's another thing. I was like, man, they're going to sit him for another 4
But it lets
weeks
you know
at least.
from the door if you need to go in a different direction. Like, so if
Yeah.
it's not working out, then all right, we know he got hurt and we still got Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now we know what we need to do in the draft going forward.
Right.
I think this just revealed their true feelings of like, we're just going to buy time for Tua.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as we're confident that he won't get broken as soon as he gets in, we're gonna put him in. I think I think this is exposing that they low key just wanted to start him from week 1, but just was trying to like hold their horses a little bit and give him time to watch from the sideline and give him time to get some reps in and stuff like that. But I think they confident in him.
This is the way to do it. Like, hey, youngin, you're in here. We're in the hunt for a playoff spot.
Yeah,
go get it.
Yeah,
that's that old school. I'm gonna teach you how to swim. I'm gonna just
throw you in. We gonna throw your ass right in. He gonna be all right though. I think he gonna be cool. Okay, so going to the association real quick. There was some coaching hires that happened over the weekend. Tye Lue got hired as the Clippers head coach. And then we also talked about how Doc got hired in Philly. So the question that I think this poses to a lot of people is, who do you think? One, how do you think this is going to affect the Clippers? Do you think that this is what they needed to do to get them over the top? Like, does this move the needle for you as far as the Clippers go? One, and two, who do you think has the most pressure to win? Is it Tye Lue in LA or is it Doc in Philly?
You got this, JT?
You go for it.
All right, so yeah, I was ready for it. So it's a decline for the Clippers. Doc Rivers.
Decline.
Yeah, Doc Rivers, legendary coach. Tyronn Lue has so much to live up to, following behind Doc Rivers, which I think he will never meet. I don't even think he's stern enough to mold those players, especially with the rumors that's going on in the locker room between Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
And when you talk about Doc Rivers and Philly, that's a plus for them. But I feel like for Doc Rivers' career, this could affect his career, like who he is as a coach.
Yeah.
It never worked out with you with the Clippers, and you had great teams for years.
Yep, that's true.
The Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Chris Paul era to what you just had in the Dream Team just now.
Right.
Team, and you didn't make it work. So, yeah, I feel like it's more I think they both have pressure. Tyronn Lue has it immediate pressure to stay the coach there. Mm-hmm. I think Doc Rivers' pressure is for his career and how that will end in the long run. Because he has the guys on Philly. I think he's the guy to coach Philly for sure. Like Joel Embiid needs that fire under his ass.
Yeah. I think that it is definitely more pressure for Tye Lue. Because I think Doc is going to a situation where they kind of threw their hands up and they're like, we don't know what else to do. Come in here and fix this. You know what I'm saying? And I think Tye Lue is going into a situation where it's the complete opposite of like, we fired him because there's no excuses. Y'all, you need to win. We gave up the whole organization to get Paul Pierce. We gave them everything they wanted. We moved all the draft picks. We did whatever we needed to do. We got bench players. We got superstars. You're supposed to win now. And I think that's the difference here is that Tye Lue is in a pressure cooker situation where every game is going to be scrutinized. The Lakers just won a championship. So that's added pressure. Like, not only did y'all not win, but the team that we built y'all to beat just won a chip. So now you got that breathing down your neck. You got the shadow, to your point, Jiggy, of Doc Rivers breathing down your neck. You can't come in and do as good as Doc Rivers. You now have to do better, right? Yeah. Which, getting out of the second round is not a tall task, but you should be doing better than that.
And that's what I'm saying, like exactly what you're saying, because who's everyone forgetting about right now too? The Warriors this year are going to be right back, at least in a top 4.
Right.
So now you already lost to the Nuggets. They're only getting better.
Yes.
The Lakers, if anything, are only going to get better because they may go get some more pieces, right?
Portland.
Portland's getting better. Memphis and New Orleans are definitely only getting better,
Yeah.
right? But, obviously we feel the Clips are at least in that 5-6 conversation.
Yeah.
But listen, dude, and I don't know if you guys have I just finally got a chance to check out Eric Pascal for the Warriors.
Yeah.
Dude, he is a beast.
He from Philly. I knew he was a beast.
I had no idea what kind of play. And now you've got everybody coming back, and they're the number one team that everybody's talking about that is going to make moves with this pick or something. So we'll see what that is. But if they just leave their team as it is right now, they beat the Clippers next year. If everyone's healthy. So they're only, if anything, going down unless they make some moves. So I just think I personally think it's a lose-lose for Tyronn Lue because I don't think they're a championship team.
Yeah.
I think Paul, I hate to talk bad about it. Like, I respect NBA basketball players, but I think Kawhi is no leader. I think Paul George.
Oh, he's not. And that's just a fact to me.
Is kind of a schmuck. And I don't believe in the team. And it's sad because I used to root for the Clippers a lot when I lived over in the area, but I'm not sold anymore.
Yeah, I'm not. I think they definitely need to make some structural changes in the roster. I think that as far as Tye Lue being the answer, no. I don't think Tye Lue was the answer to like their problems. I think their problems is bigger than coaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, did Doc have some? I mean, y'all was up 3-1 on the Denver Nuggets,
exactly,
and got washed for 4 games.
One of those games, you were up over 20.
Yeah, and y'all was.
It's not. You got Kawhi.
That's not just
Paul
coaching.
George. It's not on Doc Rivers that you blew a 20-point lead.
No,
it's not.
No, it's not.
On him.
It's not. And to your point, Tye also has a lot to prove. If Tye wasn't on the Clippers in another head coaching job, he would still have a lot to prove, right? Yeah. Because what's the narrative behind almost every coach that coaches LeBron James?
They're not really coaching them.
You ain't really coaching. You just on the LeBron James train like the rest of us. Yeah. And so now what you need to do is go in and prove that you are worthy of the ring that you won in your own right. I think Eric Spoelstra has done a little bit of that this year with taking a gritty team and taking them to the finals like he did. I think he, in a lot of people's eyes, proved, and even before that, I think he did prove to a lot of people that he was worthy of the ring that he won and that, that he should have got a little bit more respect. But that's one name. Like, Tye Lue is now in the hot seat. Like, okay, bro, like, yeah, you got a chip, but you got a chip with arguably one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player of all time. And so now you got to prove like that you got to do this on your own, and you have to do this. You have to win these rings in your own right. And now you have the talent to do it. So you don't have an excuse as to like, when you was in Cleveland and you ain't have nothing.
It's funny. Certain coaches, they get this reputation. Byron Scott's a good example. Wasn't Byron Scott the coach for Jason Kidd and those Nets teams?
Yes. Yeah. For like a year or two, I think.
And it's a similar thing to LeBron, because when you have a LeBron, or when you have a Jason Kidd even, or when you have a Magic Johnson, mm-hmm. or even a Larry Bird, but definitely the ball-heavy point guard types, you aren't really coaching. No one ever coached Magic Johnson. You give him the ball, and he tells everybody where he wants them to be, because it's not just how great they were. It's also that because of what this.
It's their game.
Is,
yeah,
right?
it's their game. Yeah.
You let him go, and you let him. That's what they want Ben Simmons to be in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
But then these coaches go get other jobs, but they don't. It's not the right job, because like Tyronn Lue won a championship because all he had to do was show up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm here. Let's win. Go team. That was the strategy.
Just cool. What they call the Cowboys coach that left, Coach Clapp, Jason Garrett. He's just Coach Clapp. Like, yeah. Good job, LeBron.
It's like you show up for practice, like, all right, guys, I got a new playbook, and it opens up, and there's 20 pages, and every single one says, give the ball to LeBron James.
Yeah. That's it. So now he got work to do. Now, because he has a talented team, but he has to and I think the one thing that he has in his favor is he was on a team trying to manage Kyrie Irving, and he was on a team that had the scrutiny of LeBron James. So that's one thing that this pressure and this bright light, and the egos and everything is not foreign to him.
Yeah.
So
it's
I think
be
that
tough
is
too when everyone else is playing in a globe and you're playing on a flat Earth. You know,
Yeah.
when you got to coach a team on a flat Earth, it's like a totally different. Gravity's different. Everything. It's weird.
That is going to be different from him actually playing in a globe. You know, going from the bubble, playing in the world, which is also a bubble. You know, that is another thing. Okay, let's get out of here on some of these right here.
Joe, how do we feel about your coach of the year getting fired?
My coach of the year got fired.
Billy Donovan was fired.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was.
That's ridiculous.
I thought it was premature. I don't think.
Did they not meet?
I think
he
was the
expectations. Like,
yeah, right? Why did you fire him? Like, what was he supposed to do?
What is the expectation with that? Like,
what was he supposed to do with that team?
Overachieved.
Yeah. What was he supposed? And we're gonna get to we're gonna get down to that too. But like, what was he supposed to do? I don't understand. Like, he definitely overachieved with that team. So I don't know what they're planning to do. I don't know if this. I mean, this seems like a little bit of an inside job. Like there's something going on, something much more going on there. Maybe personalities, maybe somebody trying to get they boy in, you know, cronyism or something like that. It doesn't seem like it was a basketball motivated decision, but
they may not have just gotten along with them. They figure, what the hell?
They're
going to be in a rebuild anyway, because I think they're going to dump CP3 and try to just rebuild.
Yeah, they're talking about CP3 possibly being traded somewhere, possibly to the Lakers. There's a big
thing. Where does he go?
I don't know. I don't want him on the Lakers though. I mean, I like CP3, but
you want to go out with a ring with his boy LeBron.
Listen to me, Joe. If you want to keep winning rings and get better, because everyone's trying to chase you now, you want CP3 on the team.
You know what? I think the thing with me, I like CP3, right? And I like the idea of him on the Lakers because he can be a more improved Rondo, right? Like Rondo was a big factor in the Lakers championship because when the age-old thing of when LeBron sits down, everybody's running around like chickens with their hair cut off, like they've never played basketball before. And Rondo came in and quelled that a lot. And I think that CP3 would be Rondo on steroids, you know, within the system, right? So to me, I look at that, I'm like, that's awesome. Like, you know, LeBron can get rest. We can throw CP3 in there. CP3 is also an offensive threat, whereas Rondo wasn't, right? But CP3 also like has this thing with his ego, and he typically rubs people the wrong way, and I just don't know the synergy. I feel like this Lakers team had like really good synergy. Like they was really they was on the same vibe.
I like that with LeBron because first of all, they're friends and they understand the way. I think with LeBron it works because CP doesn't have to be the ego and also the best player on the team. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, LeBron's not James Harden. He's not going to get offended. You know, he's probably one of the few guys in the league that can tell LeBron, "Yo, let's do that." And LeBron might go like, "Oh, okay, cool." You know, because they have that relationship.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's weird because. But see, this is what he proved to me. I thought the union would be weird with him and James Harden because James Harden's so ball heavy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, now you're going to ask him to what? Kind of be a spot up shooter a little bit more and be more off the ball. But then he showed he can make it work with Harden.
That though, he got off the ball even more. Like he was he wanted shot to bring up the ball so he could catch that, take his man off the dribble. That's his gameplay.
Yeah.
So, like you're saying, Jay.
I'll tell. I mean, if I were the Lakers, I would want him. I personally am a Warriors fan, so I do not want CP3 to go to the Lakers. But that'd be pretty scary.
Would you take him on the Warriors?
I would. No, I don't think he's a good
be
fit
weird.
On the Warriors. Well,
that wouldn't be a fit to me.
No. Hold on. I'll take him. I will definitely take him.
Well, because he would have to start.
Yeah. It's a weird.
That wouldn't work.
It wouldn't fit. But I'm just saying, we're in the West, so I don't want on a stacked team already. You know
Yeah. Okay. Let's look at this graphic real quick, just so you guys check this out and tell me what's wrong with this picture. Okay. So this is a graphic. If you're not watching, you're listening. The Denver Nuggets tweeting out a graphic that said, "Who is your favorite Nugget of all time?" And there's Chauncey Billups on here. There's the Joker on here. There's the Dikembe Mutombo. There's Nick Van Exel and another guy who I don't recognize.
Alex English, bro. Come
Oh,
on.
that's awesome.
Come on.
But the point is, who's the guy who's not on here?
Well, first and foremost, LaFonso Ellis for sure is not on here.
No, that's not where we were
I hope
going
you're
with
not
this.
saying Melo. I hope you're not saying.
Yes, I am. Why isn't Carmelo Anthony on this graphic, bro? That's highly disrespectful, bro.
It is.
Carmelo Anthony is easily the greatest Nugget of all time, bro.
And you know what? Unfortunately, the answer is because people don't like him.
Yeah, it is.
You gotta understand the Denver family don't even appreciate the guy. Like he wanted to retire there, and they didn't even want to do that.
He wanted to retire there. He really Denver was buzzing like when he was there.
Yeah. You know what's
He
really
had
funny
some
about
kids.
this?
He had the end of AI. He had JR.
Yeah.
Smith. He had some guys at some point.
You know what's weird about this too is when I think of Nick Van Exel, I think way more of him as a Laker for some
Right.
reason.
Than anything.
Right.
Yeah, was he with the Nuggets longer than he was with the Lakers?
No.
Maybe.
That's weird.
But
I mean,
he had a better career with the Lakers. That him and Vlade Divac, that was crazy.
I personally, I think this list is fine, but I think Melo should be on there instead of Nick Van Exel. That would look right to me.
Melo should be on anything that the Nuggets ever do because they're the fucking Nuggets. Okay. Right. Like Melo is he's the shiny star that you guys had like in your existence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look at this lineup. Like, how do you not put Melo on? It makes no sense. So then the Trailblazers came back and they tried to show Melo some love, and they tried to take a shot. They tried to take a shot at the Nuggets Twitter handlers or whoever runs their social media. And they said, "Who's your favorite Blazer of all time?" And they put Melo in there. Okay.
I love this.
Deservedly so. Melo didn't get the respect he deserves.
People I would replace Melo with on that picture though.
Who?
Definitely, I like Rasheed Wallace better as a Blazer than him.
Oh, he was nice.
Yeah. Well, Rasheed spent his prime.
Come on.
Yeah, Rasheed spent some of his prime years as a Blazer.
There are a few Blazers that you could put on there instead. Well, of course, instead of Melo, he's been there a year.
Yeah. Well, but still, hey, if he wears the uniform, that's like when people. That's like people say. People were saying before day one that LeBron was there. Who's the greatest Laker of all time? I'm like, it's LeBron James.
Yeah.
They're like, I mean, he hasn't even been. Is he technically on the roster? Then yes, he's the greatest Laker.
As a Warriors fan, Durant was there 2 years, right? Was it 2 years or was it 3?
2 years.
2 years
Or 3 years? Yeah.
Okay, so that's a little longer. But I mean, obviously, if you go there and do good and you haven't had a lot of success in your franchise, we don't have a lot to be proud of. So for the Warriors, KD makes the list.
But if they wear the jersey, they wear the jersey. Conor McGregor agrees to fight Justin Porter in January. Are we excited about this or no?
I'm not, because I thought he was supposed to fight Dustin Poirier, but apparently he's fighting Justin Porter.
New fighter, Justin Poirier. You know, whatever.
Dustin Poirier. But yeah, I'm excited because Conor McGregor's fighting again.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's just,
but he annihilated Poirier when they fought when he was younger. He crushed him. He stopped him.
Yeah.
But Poirier since then has been a champion. He's bigger and better, so it'll be fun. But I don't want to. I want to see Conor fight Jorge Masvidal. I want to see him fight Khabib again, and it's pissing me off that Khabib says he's not even considering it. I just think he's a prick.
Well, because he feels like he's above Conor, and that's the type of energy that he has. Like,
I get it, but you know what I am excited about though? He says he wants to fight George St. Pierre.
Oh, that'll be dope.
That'd be crazy.
And he wants to do it in Jerry World, but I mean. Yeah, he said he wants to do the fight in Jerry World, which, I mean, Jerry World is going to be free for a while because they won't have many dates blocked off as far as the end of the NFL season goes.
No, they'll definitely do it during the NFL playoffs for sure.
For sure, it'll be open. It'll be open for business. The Van Gundy brothers, both of them, are now in the running for the Rockets and the Pelicans job.
I'm over it. This guy is like Mark Jackson that I just never understand why he doesn't get a job.
He got blackballed, man.
The foundation for your Golden State Warriors.
Yep.
Yeah. He's a
Gets
great
no
coach.
freaking credit.
Yeah.
Why isn't he getting any love?
Because he got blackballed. I think whatever he did to whatever disagreements that he had with the Warriors front office, they all, it's the good old boys club. They all talk to each other. They're all a part of the 1%, and they hang out with each other. There's not that many other people they can hang out with who makes the same money and lives the same lifestyle that they have. So I believe that they talked to each other and was like, we're not fucking with that guy no more. And I think that's just what it is. I can't see because it's not his record. It's not his record or his philosophies, or he can coach.
Yeah. Was he having disagreements with the ownership? Is that what it was?
Yeah, he was beefing with the front office. That's why he got fired. It wasn't because they were as a team on the up and up. They were on, they had a positive trajectory. But I was hearing stories about how they didn't like that. He would fly back and forth on the weekends to go to pastor his church in LA when he was living there. They didn't like that. They didn't like, they didn't like that he kept a lot of his decision making close knit within his staff. So they felt like it's the staff and the front office. It's them versus us. They didn't like that he wasn't buddy with the front office and ownership. He was kind of like, stay out of my way, let me do my thing, I know what I'm doing. And they didn't like that. He rubbed people the wrong way. And now he's getting looked over for like every job.
Yeah, I mean, the Van Gundy brothers are both excellent coaches. I've heard a lot of guys talk about Stan Van Gundy as being one of the best coaches they've ever been around. But like, for example, all the smoke coast Matt Barnes, and he had JJ Redick on the other day. Yeah. And which, if you haven't listened, by the way, listen to that JJ Redick episode. Okay. It's really good. But they were talking about they were both on that Orlando team that got swept by the Lakers in the finals. And they also beat LeBron James in the playoffs. And they were saying he was an amazing coach, best preparer they'd ever been around as far as a coach. But then they got into that series, and they decided that he decided that they had to completely change what they've been doing all year if they were going to beat the Lakers. He's like, well, this is kind of what got us here. We're arguably the best team in the league, and all of a sudden you're switching everything on us last minute. So, and he's had other situations where he does well, and then for some reason he's just missing something. Yeah. So I don't know. It's and the other guy hasn't coached in how long? When was the last time he coached? The Knicks?
I mean, they both. And I think that's my knock on them.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. I think my knock on them is that they both been out of the game for a while, and the game evolves, the players evolve, and I don't know. They Jeff Van Gundy always sounds like the get off my lawn guy. Whenever you're watching him do the sideline reporting in these games, he sounds like he wouldn't know how to relate to these players, how to talk to these players. He would be annoyed by everybody in the locker room being on their phones and taking selfies and, playing their rap music or whatever it is. Like,
he also looks like Ron Jeremy. But you know what? I think wasn't Jeff Van Gundy the coach of the Rockets before with Yao Ming?
Yes.
He was, right? Okay.
Yes.
I don't know why I don't like either one of them for the Rockets job. I'm sure they'll do a fine job. I don't think the Rockets are going anywhere anyway, so I guess I don't really care. But the Pelicans, who have a lot of talent and a guy that takes a good basketball mind to figure out the best way to use him, like Zion, because he's unique, I think either one of those guys does a phenomenal job with the Pelicans.
I thought that the Pelicans should have went harder at Doc Rivers, because I thought that Doc Rivers was the best guy for that job.
See, you know what? I thought that would be the best fit for him too. I'm kind of surprised because he's Doc Rivers, right? Yeah. Why do you go with Philadelphia? Did he even take a trip to New Orleans?
No, he didn't. He left LA, went to Philadelphia, and had a job in the next day.
Why wouldn't you go to New Orleans?
I don't know.
You go to the team that's set to win right now.
I don't know.
I don't think that's Philadelphia.
You know what? I mean, technically, when you compare the two, Philly has a better chance of getting there than the Pelicans do, right? Because he's in the East, right?
Right. Yeah. But I feel like, listen, you're Doc Rivers. Like, let me get out of this win now pressure. Let me get out of this LA. Let me get out of this bullshit, and let me go with a young team. We're not expected to compete for a championship next year. Unique, phenomenal talent. Brandon Ingram, all these guys, like, let's That seemed it just seems for me that seems like the fun best
Yeah,
situation.
the better.
long
I
term.
thought it was. I think it's the better job. I think Philly is the easier job, and I think that might have been it.
More difficult. Because
Yeah,
if he fails here,
yeah,
it's gonna look crazy.
yeah. I think.
But then when you think otherwise, how you think he's gonna polish those young guys over there? I think you get him with Joel Embiid, then now that becomes another conversation if Doc Rivers can get him together.
Yeah,
Right.
Your mind right, your body's right, and
Yeah.
because your mind hasn't been right the last couple of years, you're not having these tic-tac injuries.
yeah.
And I feel like he's somebody that will definitely polish Ben Simmons if they decide to keep him.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah, but he got his work cut out for him with Ben and
Isn't
Embiid
that
and getting that.
See, that's the thing though. That's what I was thinking. I was like, he's the kind of guy that needs to take Ben and go, look, this is how it's got to go if you want to be what you think you're going to be. But isn't the first rumor when he gets there is that he wants to ship Ben out?
Ship him out. That's
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, that was the rumor.
They want Ball. They said they're gonna give him up in a second round pick to
Yeah.
figure it out to move up to the top so they could get Ball.
Well, I like that. I do like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do like that move.
I don't mind that either.
Yeah, because he's gonna be the guy that's gonna go out there every night, balls out, whether he's killing people or not.
Yup.
But to be honest, if I'm what is it, the Timberwolves? Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
If I'm the Timberwolves, I don't do that because you kind of know what Ben Simmons is. You don't know what LaMelo Ball is.
That's
Like
true.
he's a high pro. I would take a risk.
But
on
if
his-
you the Timberwolves, you need a sure thing, and you need to sell tickets like right now.
Mhm.
And I think you've also been in the lottery every year. So if I'm the Wolves, I'm kind of like, yeah, like give me Ben Simmons, give me somebody who I know is a proven NBA vet, because this lottery thing is not working out for us.
But
We had a
doesn't-
#1 pick like every other year.
right. But doesn't LaMelo sell tickets right now?
I think
I don't think so. He played overseas. He doesn't have. I think he has
But-
buzz with NBA.
But
Fanatics.
he's kind of an internet like TV star though.
he is a machine.
Not really. I mean, he had a show
Oh,
on Facebook.
Nah, he's an station. I can't even front.
They got a lot of people though. But I just think LaMelo has the chance. I don't want him on the Warriors, and that's regardless of who we've got on the team. I don't know. Something about the balls. I don't want to. It seems risky to me.
It's possible. So speaking of that, the last thing we're going to touch on is what the Warriors have the #2 pick, right? What if they could possibly end up with Melo?
They could. It sounds like though they're either going with Edwards or Wiseman if they go and draft somebody.
It would be better for them. I think they should go towards Wiseman or
LaMelo doesn't make sense. Wiseman's a beast. 7 feet, can shoot, can go guard the rim, he can do everything.
But with Melo, I think the thing that the Warriors got to be thinking about is Steph Curry is not getting any younger, and he's also not getting any less brittle, should I say.
Right.
So maybe don't throw the baby out with the bathwater so fast when you think about Melo, because it's easy to go, wow, we got Steph Curry, we're good.
For sure.
It's easy to do that, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, time is ticking. We've seen these injuries cost them games, maybe cost them championships. If I was them, I would still think about Melo. I would think hard about Melo.
Well, this is why I think it doesn't matter, because I think they're going to end up shipping they're going to do one of two things. They're going to either put a package together with that pick. They also have they have one of Minnesota's pick, I believe, as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what they're going to do is either trade for a star, or at least, because you know who I'd love them to get, and I don't think it's on the table at all, but Domantas Sabonis from the Pacers. You put him on that Warriors team, and it's us and the Lakers and everybody else. I mean, he's really that good. I didn't realize he actually was an all-star this season.
Yeah.
But regardless, the other move I think they're going to make if they can't get like a Giannis or a Sabonis or a big-time player is trade down in the draft and get some good other pieces that they need. And there's 3 or 4 guys they really like mid-lottery or even outside of the lottery. And they know how to draft. They drafted Jordan Poole. They drafted Eric Pascal. Was he second round?
I think so. He was a low draft
second
pick.
round. Dude, that dude is a baller.
Yeah.
Like, that dude just knows how to play. And he's almost like a better shooting Draymond Green.
He is. He reminds me a lot of Draymond, which was smarter than him. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that's a great. I mean, I can't even believe he was a second round. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna deal that pick. I think they're gonna deal it, and I hope that they go get. You know who I really hope they get is Giannis, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, I don't think that ain't happening.
We'll see.
He's not getting Giannis.
That's the number one everyone talks about, Joe.
And they talking about it, but they can talk about it till the cows come home.
Don't shoot my dreams before they've even had a chance to hatch.
We putting holes all up in that dream.
Stakes now with this Giannis mess, man.
Yeah, the Giannis ain't going nowhere. He loves Milwaukee. Jiggy,
we'll see after another year.
Jiggy, thanks so much for coming on today, coming through in the clutch. We definitely got to get you back on in a proper with a proper amount of prep time up front. Can you tell the people where they can support anything that you got coming out, where they can buy the clothing line, where they can follow you on social media?
Couple things. Jigg by Jiggy, Jiggy, Jiggy. That's my clothing line Instagram. The same way it's spelled, jigbygiggy.com is my website as well. You can find my clothes. You can see videos from my fashion show.
Yeah.
Any updates I got, I have an email list. So anything I got upcoming, once you sign up for the email list, you'll be in tune with me all the time. Other than that, I appreciate you guys so much, man.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, for sure. I am at JoeConner33 everywhere. Be sure to like and subscribe on the YouTube page so you know when we are dropping a video. Turn your notifications on as well. Follow us on all of the social media platforms and all of the podcast platforms. Even if you don't listen, just subscribe and follow.
Just subscribe to all of it. Yeah. Every single platform.
Every single platform.
Please do it. Please.
Yeah.
My name's JT Harker, at JT Harker for everything on all of the social medias. And last single, Drunk People, is still out, but I go to Nashville tomorrow morning to record 6 new news.
Oh, dope.
And I'm really, Joe, you've heard.
Yeah, they're fire.
3 of them. I'm super pumped about it.
They're coming.
So we got new music coming hopefully in the next 4 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And we'll have music in the barrel for all year. JT Harker Sports for all the sports cards, and I'm going to start covering more of our fantasy league in there as well.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Dope. This has been another episode of the Backstage Sports Podcast. Until next time, be safe and be great. Peace.
Backstage Sports.